thing about the goodbye is that there is no goodbye, because you should never tell anyone you're leaving ever. The end. Wow, that was a great episode. Very tidy. Huh? Oh. Well, okay, maybe there's a bit more to it than that. But the point still stands, and this is rule number one, is that you do not tell anyone you are leaving. And do not, under any circumstances, fall for the see me before you leave routine. Okay, this is the biggest sucker play going. And I'm going to open with a story about the see me before you leave routine. So I was a night manager at the time, and usually what happens is at the end of my shift, the opening manager will come in, and then we'll walk around a little bit, and I'll kind of just give them a rundown on what happened the night before. So on this particular day, good old Greg, the android, is the opening manager. So I give him a rundown on what happened, and I had a few more things to do. So he says, well, just check out with me before you leave. So against my better judgment, as I'm leaving, I find him, and I told him that I was leaving. And then he hits me with the, well, before you leave, can you do such and such? Now, mind you, at this point, I already have my coat on and I'm shopping. In this case, the can you do such and such was to bring 2 more pallets of water out and build a waterfall by the entrance. You see, in the world of retail, you can't just bring a pallet out and set it down and be done with it. You have to stage it and make it presentable. So you have to build these tedious displays of pointlessness. So at the time, there were already 2 pallets of water out there. So what he wanted me to do was bring 2 more pallets out and then do what we call a waterfall, where you basically just stack it up beside the pallets and build it up and stuff. So since there were already 2 pallets out there, I didn't really see the urgency in having myself stay over to get this task done. But you see, I was salary, so yeah. Anyway, I told him I would do it tomorrow, and he said I had to do it before I left. So again, I just told him, like, I'll go ahead and just do it tomorrow. But then he says, no, it looks bad and that I need to do it before I leave. So I'm like, all right, okay. And then I just left. So about an hour later goes by, and then I get a text from him saying, really? You left without doing it? So then the next day, at the beginning of my shift, me and my assistant were in the office, and then Greg comes in, and then he asks my assistant to step outside. So just FYI, anytime someone asks the room to be cleared, you know you're going to be in for it. Well, apparently he was still fuming over my leaving early yesterday. Well, actually, no, not early, leaving on time and not staying over to do some arbitrary task. So anyway, he informs me that he's going to give me a write-up for insubordination. Now, I don't even think it's was legal because we're both salaried managers, and I don't even think that he's like technically allowed to do that because he's not the store manager. So I'm pretty sure it was just some kind of stunt. So the moral of the story is, if anybody ever says, see me before you leave, don't ever talk to them, just leave. That way you can avoid some of these unpleasant situations. So I share the story because it illustrates how precious it is to be able to leave work and get home in a timely manner. And really, that's all I wanted to be able to do, is just leave work when I'm supposed to. Okay, when I'm at work, I will do 200% for you. But when it's time to leave, I'm done. Any obstacle that could potentially get in your way of leaving must be planned for and accounted for. Sometimes you have to be like James Bond to get out of work. You have to plan your escape route. You need to know the shortest distance you're going to be exposed to the sales floor. So when you clock out for the day, you don't take the exit right by the time clock. You take the scenic route down the produce hallway because there's less chance for you to be stopped by some idiot customer. And while you're at it, lose the name badge too, and any other identifiers that might tip someone off that you work there. As long as they don't know your name, you can say anything you want. And if your back is up against the wall, hit them with the old, hey, I'm off the clock. And then make a hasty retreat before they even know what happened. And now, a dramatic reenactment of how your average day shift hourly employee leaves work. Oh, 4 o'clock. Time to clock out. Hey, I'm off the clock. Have you ever seen the sprinter leave work? These are the people who run full speed out the door. I had an employee who used a cane, but when it came time to clock out, he would turn into Michael Johnson in the 200-meter dash. I don't condone it, but I understand it. If you are a salaried manager, it is impossible to leave. When I was an assistant manager at Walmart, we did 12-hour shifts minimum, but it would always turn into 13, 14, 15-hour shifts because you cannot leave. You can work 15-hour shifts every day and nobody cares. But the second you try to leave when you're supposed to, every other manager looks at you like you're the biggest piece of dirt. Usually you can't even go until you get released by your store manager or co-manager. I had a store manager say directly to my face, "When you become a salaried manager, we own you." Cool. So what tips can I give you if you're a salaried manager? Oh, not many. Avoid the office like it's a leper colony. Say if you left your coat in the office on your way home and you need to get it, forget it. You're leaving with no coat. Because you can't risk the, "Hey, before you leave, can you do such and such?" In my 5 years of being a night manager, this is the best way that I could come up with. So at the end of your shift, you strategically leave some simple tasks that still needed to be done, but could be done quickly. So for instance, when the store manager would come in the morning and want to walk the store, well, you say, "Well, I still have to do X, Y, Z." And you make it sound like it's still a lot to do. So hopefully they go, "Well, okay, finish up and get out of here." But in reality, you can finish up in 5 minutes and then escape. But it's risky because it can double the damage of having to finish your stuff and then also do a floor walk. Here's a bonus pro tip for managers. If a store manager ever asks you how the store looks, never say it looks good. If you say the store looks good, they'll want to walk every single aisle, which can add hours to the end of your day. Always use vague, non-committal phrases like "it's okay" or "it's decent," or even better, use sound effects like or So the better you say the store looks, the more they're going to want to see it. So just don't even say it looks good. Have you found a way to leave work successfully without being detected? Leave a comment if so, and please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and thanks for watching.